Everybody, how's it going? It is Thursday, September 3rd, 2020. I'm back. I was in Los Angeles and Fort Lauderdale, and now I'm outside of Washington, D.C. in Northern Virginia. All in the last like 40 hours. I don't even know. There was a lot of driving and flying, and I saw a lot of the country this time across the country. I went to Wisconsin. I went over the Mackinac Bridge this time. I'm trying to think of how many cities of teams I went through. This is a baseball file, by the way. We're doing a bunch of stuff on Ken's Variety Hour today. We're going to talk about baseball games. We're going to talk about trips across the country. We're talking about stocks. Stocks. I mean, want to make some money? I mean, do you understand what life has been like? I've been roaming around the country giving people advice about what stocks to buy. You know what has happened? People have made like tens of thousands of dollars on things like Tesla. Tesla down a lot today. That's okay because they were up a lot for months. You made a fortune if you bought Tesla options, like I told all of you to do. I said they were going to be $1,000 a share by by the end of this year. They're at 400 and like $407 a share right now. You think, oh, that's bad. Oh, that's right. They did a 5-to-1 split. They were almost $2,500 a share by the time they split. Almost. They got to it the next day on Monday when they were split and they were hey, whatever. There's a lot to talk about. But I want to first say that America does look different. I've been driving across the country for years, all the time for fun, and a lot of places are closed. Public bathrooms are hard to find in cities, especially. But a lot of the country is still the same, and a lot of people choose to just live the way they always have. And the good, the only good thing, actually, I shouldn't say that. There are some good things about what has gone on with the pandemic and how it's made us evolve as people. But this disease is something that we're starting to understand how it works. And being ignorant about it can only work for so long, or you can fight it off and be fine, or you can just choose to try to live your life in a way that, you don't let people cough in your face. Maybe we're going to be doing things differently. Like maybe we won't be kissing each other as much. I don't know. I really don't know. But there's certain ways that you get a high load of it, and you can get really sick from it. If you get a small amount of it and you get a lot of sun and you strengthen your vitamin D, you strengthen your endothelial blood cells, things that get attacked when the virus really gets in you, you're probably going to be all right if you're of healthy mind and body. So I do feel like we're going to get over it, and um, it has been different traveling across the country, but it's also been better in certain ways. And I think we're just evolving as a society anyway. So we'll get into some of the more technical stuff in the video today. But really, I have a lot going on, and I know I make a lot of promises and then I don't always deliver. But I'm not a bad guy. I just get pointed in a different direction sometimes. But people who wanted baseball. So here's sort of a weird problem. I'll have to try to solve this problem. So this is an algorithm, which is a loose word. I mean, an algorithm can be any collection of protocols or any collection of order of doing things or just getting something from here and putting it here and comparing. There's all types of things that algorithms can do. This one's pretty complex. It does the best that it can do with the stats that it has to the score prediction sucks actually, but the but the winning and the lines and like how, the way the teams are gonna it's getting better. And it does a lot with this information. It gets better throughout the year. It does take a lot of time to edit, and also there's a bunch of percentages up here on the right, these things up here that can be changed. And my goal with this algorithm was not necessarily to be doing this every summer, every day, and updating this thing every day. God, it sucks. It's work, and I don't want to do this every day. I don't want to gamble. I think you're supposed to do stuff in moderation. Like the secret to life is not overdoing anything. Nobody wants to be pulled too far to the right or too far to the left. How's it looking? Too far to the right, too far to the left? I don't know what the answer to this question. Point is, uh, so doing this every day is labor intensive, and to do it right, which is important because things happen. For example, guess what? I learned things about baseball. I will say this. Mike Clevenger just got traded. He used to be on Cleveland, probably because the first three letters of his last name are Cleveland. He got traded to San Diego. He's 1-1 this year, but he was a good pitcher last year. He's somebody who would win a lot of games. That's a good ERA. Um, So that's something new that pops up because it shows up as an error in this algorithm when he gets traded. And I have to go and do stuff in matrices of different pitchers and what team they're on. And sometimes you can combine pitching stats when people get traded. That's what happens when people are pink. That means they are duplicate. It means they have been traded throughout the season. We're going way down a rabbit hole in baseball. This video right now. This is what we're going to do. I'll show you why this is a problem. Explain what's going on. I know that there are millions of you, even though there are not millions of people watch this video, but there are millions of you out there that enjoy watching baseball and love crunching the stats. And some people want to bet on baseball. And you're hearing the name DraftKings everywhere. As a matter of fact, I will show you DraftKings in the Stocks app, the portfolios thing I got right here. Let's find DraftKings. How'd they do today? Um, we can mess around with all the stocks that I keep track of on the Dow, and we can say, hey, company name. All right, how about, I don't know, just control F this, right? DraftKings. Boom. They're down 4.5% today. They're at 38.10. I said buy them if they ever get down to about 30 or below. Um, they have some upside potential because they're advertising and people want to are watching sports. It can be something that you abuse and lose money. It can also be something fun. I like to do crazy parlays with like 10 teams. I have a blast off of like a $3 bet. Hee hee. It's like a cup of coffee for me. I don't know why everybody doesn't just do that. I mean, it's not something that betting is not something that you can, and knowing who's going to win sports games is not something that you're always going to get right. An imperfect world and there's a future that's going to happen. You're just trying to make good guesses. So what I designed the algorithm to do, I'll get to why this is a problem in a second. What I designed the algorithm to do is to predict the best picks in order of the freaking teams you're supposed to take, assuming the money line, which is the money line is if you bet, see, this is a good money line is 105 for the Yankees over the Mets. This means that if you bet $100 and the Yankees win, just win the game, no runs, no nothing, don't make it complicated. Root for a team, make the team win, party, right? Easy, simple. That's the best lineup here. It's the 3 pick because you get 105 back if you bet 100. You win 105. You get your 100, then you win 105 on top of that. So this is all favorites otherwise that it also agrees with Vegas. The algorithm apparently does today. I don't know what it does. I just dump data into it, update players, make sure trades are correct. I have this thing called the batters matrix. The batters matrix shows you a ranking or a player score of different batters on different teams and color codes them for whatever. So like, let's look at a game. Let's look at that Yankees Mets game. I mean, New York and New York, right? That's awesome. Um, it says that the Mets have more powerful hitting playing today for some reason. You can open it up and kind of see in this rainbow visual, like Conforto is one of the strongest hitters for the Mets. Dominic Smith, that's a guy I never heard of. I haven't been watching any baseball. Luke Voigt is good on the Yankees. LeMahieu. All this stuff kind of shows rosters, and then it contributes into a lineup factor over here, which we are waiting in another formula to come up with this win algorithm percentage. I know this is really complicated, but it does seem to work this way. So when you have a big disparity in win algorithm percentage and a good line, you got a great pick. Now, you got a huge favorite of the Dodgers over Arizona, but this is a terrible line. So the algorithm really thinks the Dodgers are going to kill Arizona, but to bet if we're going to talk about betting, to bet the Dodgers to win is not a good idea because the line is awful. You want to win more money. Like this is a plus 250 if Arizona wins. So, 1 out of every few times they're going to win. Clayton Kershaw is going to pitch a bad game, and Luke Weaver, whatever. It's baseball. I think so. You want to stay away from bad lines. And I'm trying to do my best to have the algorithm order this. Anyway, point is, I understand that there are millions of people out there that care about getting great data and having a way of looking at this. Like, I don't want to do this today. This is the problem. I don't want to do this today. I have other stuff to do. So I'll keep it quick. I also don't charge people who use this enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it whenever I feel like it, which is not going to be all that much. And if you want to pay for me to do this, I will give you my time to update it, but it's got to be reasonable money because I don't want to do it every day. I don't care about who got traded. I went through and it took me probably 45 minutes to update trades. A lot of people have been traded, to update all the team stats, there's a matrix of players and pitching names and odds. It took probably the better part of an hour. And to do that every day, it's 1/24th of your day every day. If you're going to do that, I don't want to do that on baseball games that I don't watch, right? So I haven't designed a robot to do it all automatically yet. It still takes an hour of my time because there's so much changing and so much data in here. But anyway, um, I don't care about these games today, so so we're moving on. The uh, the portfolio, yes, the tracker of all stocks. So I keep notes on stocks as well, and I keep them in order and I put target prices on them and I watch the market as it moves because we're in a really weird time right now where the Federal Reserve, through unprecedented action, is creating money and putting it into the market and bonds and market in general and pumping up or pumping in cash infusion into the stock market is the first place it's hitting. And it doesn't always stay there for long. People are going to take profits. That's what people do with stocks. They buy and sell them and take profits. So, eventually that will get drained out sort of when it's not reinvested, but a lot of it obviously does get reinvested in more stocks. So you have this unprecedented infusion, and it's going to continue, I think, till the election, and who knows, maybe even after. It's funny because you don't really feel the inflation unless you're in the market. Um, People are turning a few $1,000s into tens, and probably I haven't seen hundreds yet in person like that I've helped, but I've seen tens of thousands of dollars being made in the days, weeks, easy, and with not very much investment. And it's by analyzing where this cash infusion is going to end up and kind of what we all want to root for in the world. Like I have Tesla as my number one. I say buy them if they're under $500 a share, but really buy them. Buy them if it's a day that ends in Y, because they are the future. As long as they keep hiring all the best engineers in the world and coming up with great ideas, um, you know, I just think it's a fantastic way to invest, and also it's also going to be successful. So they had a split. They've been just going up. You're making a fortune if you're betting option or even holding shares of Tesla. I actually found a way to lose money on Tesla because I messed around with them in the very last day of the split, thinking I was going to be a genius and ended up being a retard. Um, but other than that, if you just play a long game like a smart person, you will not lose money on Tesla. So this thing here that we updated, it's an interesting guide of kind of looking over how things move every day in the market and keeping notes on things. Like my notes are kind of funny and interesting. I had talked about Merck for a while for a different reason. Pepsid, which Merck is doing better now, and yeah, up to 85. But the Pepsid thing I don't think has worked out. Google is a fantastic company. That's Google Alphabet. Google is into everything, as I've said. Their stock hit some crazy volatility, went over 1,700, hit a new high, and then people took a bunch of profits. But they are a company that's going to be a receptacle, maybe beyond me too. But Google will be a recipient of a lot of this cash infusion because people are going to want to put their money with companies they trust and companies that are doing things and growing and controlling. Alphabet is one of them. I want to talk about some fun ones. I mean, there's Sherwin-Williams. Yep, Sherwin-Williams. I've driven all around the country, right? I mean, all around the country. Every little podunk town, it won't even have a stoplight in town, but they will have a Sherwin-Williams in town. And I never really noticed them before, but when I started following this stock file with all these different companies, I start to look around and notice. And so that's paint, right? That's paint. Everybody is improving their domains at this point, improving their homes, improving their barns, improving their whatever. Paint gets bought, and I feel like they were already a great company everywhere. Now they are the source of a lot of the extra free time that people spend in quarantine as they're going to paint something and make it look better. They're just crushing life. Their stock has been on a run. Um, they were at like 560. They're at like 670. They went to 700, and then finally people took profits and knocked them down by 15 bucks. But they're going to be up at over 700 probably tomorrow. Who knows? Things are out of control because there's all this money coming into the market. The reason why I'm going all the way down this road and talking about different things is money is a problem. Sometimes it's a problem. Um, it's a problem if you don't have it and you don't know how to get it, or you do bad things for it. There's a lot of things that money can do wrong. Well, all this money that's going into the market is there for anyone to take. Um, I'm not one to usually give compliments to Trump, but I will say that I believe he pushed the Fed in this direction. And most people would be too scared because they would fear inflation. But when you pump the money directly into the market and not a high percentage of the people actually day trade or know what options are or understand how to take advantage of this kind of volatility and cash infusion into the markets, if, most people don't do that. And so this inflation or all this money is not going to every person. It's going to people that take advantage of the market. And so it's intriguing because I had never paid attention to the stock market ever. I always said, this is all a house of cards. Anybody, company can go bankrupt at any time, yada, yada, yada. I never really looked into it. Now that I've looked into it for several months and at least see dynamic flows of how money comes in and out, and also what type of companies you want to bet on, and the resources that are available. Hey, I'd like to do an ad for somebody, even though they're not paying me or I haven't asked them. TD Ameritrade. TD Ameritrade is freaking awesome. They allow you to be a five-star researcher. I don't know if that's a term, but they allow you to dig into the financials of a company with the click of a mouse, like it's sitting right there. Like this is stuff that people used to have full-time jobs doing and monitoring and going on location, getting information. It's just free for you if you just trade and give them a penny every time you do a trade. Like it's insanity. So everyone has the ability to view this information readily and digest it. So like within seconds, you can say this company is good financials or bad financials, and then start making your judgments. So anyway, so all this money is out there for the taking. Um, if you want it, it's pretty amazing. So now that I'm paying attention to the market, I see how how billionaires are made, and it's all public perception at any given time. Like, if tomorrow all of a sudden for some reason Amazon like was completely bankrupt and had to stop, like Amazon was canceled, right? Imagine the company Amazon was canceled, right? All of a sudden, no more Amazon, like tomorrow. Jeff Bezos is 220 billion-dollar trillion billion. But he's a trillionaire. He's got probably I don't know how much money. He's not a trillionaire. Nobody's a trillionaire yet. He's got 200 something billion dollars, I believe. Um, that would evaporate very quickly if Amazon like didn't exist tomorrow. It's all about ongoing public perception of things. So it's intriguing, it's fun, it's all over the place as you can see. It's colorful to look at different sectors and see how they did today. Why, like how many moves, right? It's fun. This is actually fun. Terrible day today. Everything down, right? Everything down. Every big thing down is just a big profit day. That means good day to buy. That's what it was. Anyway, I've gone on for 18 minutes. So that's what you get in Ken's Daily Variety Hour. We're not going to go for an hour. But I don't know. My conclusions for today are the fact that just understanding the markets, um, allowing the Federal Reserve to insert trillions of dollars into the marketplace is going to lead to more people making money if you make the right decisions. If you make call options, which are long call options, meaning you bet that a stock is going to go up in value over time. If you do that, and that's what happens because more money is in the system, and that's what happens when you put more money in the system, is prices of things get inflated. So when you do that along the way, you can scrape along the way and make an obscene amount of money. I mean, there was a time where somebody making 10% on your money a year was considered fantastic. Now it's like if you don't make 100%, every month, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Like the way things are going now. This is, I mean, as I browse through the major stocks, um, like you can, oh God, let's like look at the stocks that are the highest price. Don't get me started on splits because I have some theories on what's going to happen with splits. Splits are incredible. I can't talk about this forever. I have other stuff to do, but let me just say that if everyone took advantage of the marketplace, one, I guess would be less money to go around, depending on how much cash you keep infusing into the system. But uh, people wouldn't have to worry about money as much as they used to. There are some barriers to entry. Sometimes you need to spend a lot of money to purchase a thing like an option for a company that has a high stock price, like Amazon. Amazon's 3,000 something. If you want to buy an option on them, you're going to be spending at least like ten or $20,000, probably $20,000 or more to get something that you want. Just one contract. So that's prohibitive for many people. But then um, there's still things that can be done, and I don't know. It's whatever. That's the variety hour today. Two things I'm working on, and I hope you had a good day.